The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Boost. Paying over better. Sign up today at just.betproCode.HPN to get a $12 deposit bonus. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is currently Thursday afternoon, around 5 p.m. Eastern Time on May 29th. I'm your episode Scott Rochelle, once again joined by Lonte Smith together. We're going to break down the games for the Friday card. Lonte, we had one game of baseball today, but overall, how's it going with you?
Going pretty good, man. You know my adventure to get here, but going pretty good, man. I'm interested to see what goes on in this Atlanta Philly series because Philly's been really hot. Atlanta's been kind of like treading water, and I wonder how much of the bullpen they're going to use, which bleeds over into the games that we're going to discuss. But yeah, overall, doing pretty good, man. Looking forward to the slate this weekend.
Yeah, you mentioned about the bullpen stuff. The Braves are not in great shape because Smith-Shawver got injured today. As he said, he thought he felt the pop in his elbow, so definitely not a good sign. Point is, though, he went 2 2/3, and they ended up using 5 relievers. So keep that in mind. There might be a pretty shorthanded bullpen for the Braves in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Then again, you have Chris Sale pitching, so maybe he'll just shove anyway. But I wanted to mention that the bullpen arms could be an issue for Atlanta based on that first game, and we'll see what happens with Smith-Shawver. Doesn't sound good, so something to keep in mind there. Besides that, anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's it. We can get right into it, man.
Cool. So before we get into any of the actual games for the Friday card, a reminder that we do have a great new type of content coming out on the channel because the SGP guys are going to be ripping packs live on air next Monday night. So they'll be breaking a case of Panini Prisms with dabs, and you can get 10% off your favorite team with promo code SGPN. Go to sportsgambling.com/break to get in on the action. Anyway, moving on to the games here for the Friday card. Starting with the first game, you have the Reds taking on the Cubs in Wrigley. Should be pretty fun. For that one, you have the Cubs a decent favorite, about -172. You have the Reds a +144. The over-under is at 8.5. And for the run line, you have the Cubs -1.5, +116. You have the Reds +1.5 at -140. The Cubs are using Rhea, who's 3-1, 3.28 ERA. Abbott is pitching for the Reds, 4-0, 1.77 ERA. Reds have been treading around 500 all year. Cubs have been a wagon lately. Facing the Rockies helps, but still, they've been in good form recently, and I expect it to be a pretty entertaining game. I'll go with the Cubs, though. I trust their offense a bit more. I feel like the Reds' offense can be very... I don't want to use the word top-heavy, but it feels like the lack of balance in the lineup is definitely noticeable.
Yep.
And the Cubs can just move the line pretty easily. I'm going to go Cubs here. I feel like Abbott might be a popular underdog pick, but I'm not picking against the Cubs in Wrigley. Cubs this season are 18-10 at home. Reds are below 500 on the road. Abbott has been good, I'll admit it, but the bullpens are not great. And I do think it's a decent spot for the Cubs. So I know Abbott's been good, though, recently, so maybe the first 5 under could be intriguing. But I'll go with the Cubs along with the first 5 under.
Yeah, I like that first 5 under, too. I think you hit it on the head. Both Abbott and Rhea has been really good. I mean, Rhea's coming off his worst start of the year. 6 earned, 7 hits, and 5 innings pitched. That was versus Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And but Chicago took 2 of 3 against Cincinnati a few days back. All of those games were high scoring. But again, I think both pitchers will be a little bit better here. Abbott's allowed 1 or less in 7 of his last 8 starts, 1.77 ERA. They're hitting the ball really well as of late. The last 10, they're hitting about 280 on almost 10 hits. So I think the first 5 is we keep it around like 2-1, maybe even 1-1. And then when the bullpens get involved, that's when we see kind of some runs scored. I do like Chicago in the spot. Like you said, they've been the more consistent team, one of the most consistent teams all year, actually, when you think about it, especially facing one of the toughest schedules. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 4 straight. They hit lefties really, really well, about 270 against lefties. They're hitting 280 at home. I trust Rhea to bounce back here. He's been much better at home. And I mean, Cincinnati's just Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, they've been playing better as of late, but I'm going to go with the more consistent team at home. You talked about the home numbers, so I like Chicago and the first 5 under with you.
Yeah, total is 8.5, so I'm assuming first 5 under will be about 4.5 juice, which I'm fine with. I think that number's too high, so I'll go with the under on that as well. Moving on to the Brewers against the Phillies. Phillies did win the first game of the doubleheader today. We'll see how they do later on tonight, but the bullpen should be pretty shorthanded, at least based on the amount of pitchers that will be used in this game, or in these collection of 2 games today. You have Taijuan Walker pitching against Priester. Phillies are minus 150. Brewers are plus 125. Over-under in this game is at 9. The wind for this game is blowing from left to right, so nothing too substantial for the wind. I like the over in this game. Taijuan, I think, has been surprisingly decent this season, but I still don't think he's actually that good. And he tends to have a decent outing of, I'd say, 3 earned in like 5 innings. But he goes no distance. The bullpen might be extremely exhausted after today. And Priester got off to a good start this season, but then he's kind of been up and down lately. He's been fine, but I do think he's a guy you can definitely struggle in this environment against good opposition, and I think Philly's offense is pretty good. I like the over. I don't trust the starting pitchers. Milwaukee's bullpen can be pretty streaky as well. Not really the best of units compared to their usual selves. I'll go with the over. I think 9's a bit short, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like over as well. I'm going to go with Milwaukee in the first 5 because of exactly what you just talked about. I know Walker's, he's been okay. I mean, 2 or less and 3 straight at home, but he is a contact pitcher. He's had less than 5 Ks in 5 of his last 6 starts. Milwaukee's been hitting the ball okay. Priester's dealing with a bit of a blister on his throwing hand, so that might have been why some of his starts have been fluctuating. Still ERA like 2.53. He's allowed 2 or less in 4 straight. Only 1 earned in 3 of those 4 games. I don't know, man. It's something about Priester that I want to like, but I'm just like, I don't know. It's something that I don't like as well. So I'm kind of like, it's kind of how I feel about the Milwaukee Brewers as a whole, honestly. But they've been on a roll as of late. Priester's been pretty good on the road. I'm going to trust him in the first 5. But I mean, Phillies won 10 of 11. So they've been rolling. So I'm going to go over Milwaukee first 5, though. I'm going to take a shot with Milwaukee and Priester in the first 5.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, I trust Milwaukee, but I'm still not a Taijuan guy. Priester has been better than I expected. Doesn't mean I trust him, but I'll at least point out that I think he's been better than Taijuan in some aspects recently, which might be enough. And Milwaukee did win a couple games in heroic fashion against Boston. Maybe some of that carries over into this series. But I think I can get behind what you said earlier. I don't mind Milwaukee early in this game for this matchup. Moving on to the next game, you have what is a toilet bowl. You have the White Sox against the Orioles. Now, I do want to ask you, just in case you were wondering, do you know which team between the White Sox and the Orioles has more wins at the moment?
I would say they're tied, right?
Right now, Baltimore is up 1.
Oh, okay.
The White Sox were up by I don't know, I think 1 a couple days ago, but then Baltimore won a couple and the White Sox lost a couple. So now Baltimore is technically 1 game ahead of the White Sox. Not where you want to be. They're actually 2 up because they've played 3 less games than Chicago, but still they have 1 more win. Point is, though, you have Eflin against Burke in this one. The Orioles are minus 225. 225. Okay, sure. White Sox are plus 185. The over-under is at 8.5 or 9. Baltimore minus 1.5 in this game is minus 120. Chicago plus 1.5 is even money. Burke has not been great this season, 4.33 ERA, but he's been better than Eflin. Eflin's 3-2, 5.4 ERA. 8.74 ERA at home as well, so keep that in mind. I'll ask you because the Orioles laying 225, that is something I am not interested in. So it's White Sox or pass. Thoughts?
Yeah, I actually like the White Sox. I'll take that plus 1.5. I'll take the first 5, and I'll take them even full game. Just because, I mean, if you really look at it, the White Sox have been more competitive as of late. They might be 4-6 in the last 10, but 3 of the last 4 losses have been decided by 1 run. Baltimore does hit righties, have been hitting righties pretty well, but their bullpen's ERA is above 7. Burke, he's pitched well, but he's just got walk issues. He got the most walks in the MLB. So if you take away those walks, his ERA is probably a little bit lower. He's allowed 1. He's had 1 earned run or less in 4 of his last 5. His hit rate is pretty low. He's got under 5 hits allowed in 4 of the last 5. Eflin's been a gas can, man. 17 earned on 15 hits in his last 2 games.
A lot of home runs too.
Yeah, 7 home runs. You took the words right out of my mouth. 7 home runs in that span. I think we see a typical 2 bad teams, and we see a lot of runs. I like the over. I like the White Sox, all around the world, whether you want to bet them run line, first 5 and full game. Both teams are over in 6 of the last 10. They've been hitting the ball similarly. So I think both teams score here. I think the White Sox can get them 6-5, maybe even, a 7-6 type of game. But yeah, I think I see a 1-run game regardless. So I'll take the White Sox.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, do I trust the White Sox to score enough? Not really. But do I trust Baltimore to pitch well enough?
Nope.
No.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm kind of just stuck here. But Baltimore has been hitting the ball better recently.
Yeah.
They got to Mikolas quickly, and then I believe they blew the game, right? Didn't they lose yesterday?
Yeah, they did.
So, yeah, even when they perform well offensively, they still find ways to choke. Their bullpen's terrible, so the White Sox can find a way. They've been hitting the ball better lately. Big reason, catalyst, former Yankee, Mike Tauchman. Been really good since coming back from the IL. So keep an eye out for Tauchman. I think his walk prop yesterday was like minus 135, and he walked. I think he's walked in like 8 straight games. Guy's just been great at getting on base. So keep an eye out for Tauchman. Has performed pretty well. We'll see what happens. But either way, I think it'll be an entertaining game between two really bad teams. Moving on to the A's against the Blue Jays. So for this game, you have Springs against Bassett. Springs 5-3, 3.97 ERA. Bassett 4-3, 3.38 ERA. Toronto is minus 165. A's are plus 140. Over-under in this game is set at 8 or 8.5. Now, Springs, just to go through the numbers this season, they've not been very good. However, he has been a lot better on the road, 2.45 ERA on the road. Has been better lately. He has allowed less than 3 runs in 4 of his last 5, but he was not great against Philly last time out as he gave up 4 runs in 6 innings, so not the best of starts there, but he's been better over the last month or so. For Bassett, he's been really, really good at home, a 1.61 ERA at home. Did get shelled the last start against Tampa, but that was a road start. So point is, at home, he has been dealing recently. I'll ask you, because the A's have been in free fall, and Toronto is actually decent at 27 and 28, even though Vlad has been invisible for most of the season. I saw Bichette had the pinch hit 2-run homer yesterday to get them the nice win. I'll ask you, though, about this game, because I think 165 might sound expensive, but I'm kind of into it, and the total might sound a bit low, but I'm kind of into it. So I feel like I'm kind of stuck with going, I don't want to say contrarian, but I feel like Bassett should pitch well. I don't mind Springs in this matchup either. I don't mind the first 5 under, actually, in this game.
Yeah, I had a hard time handicapping this game. I mean, Bassett's numbers look okay, but his numbers say he's due for a little bit of regression. And the A's, although they've lost 9 of 10, the offense is still, holding steady. Toronto on the other side, I mean, they had 2 runs or less scored in 6 straight. So, their offense has been really, really bad. So I kind of stayed away, but I would probably be on that first 5 under with you, thinking that Springs has had a weird season. I'll say that. And I think Bassett, if he can cut down on some similar things like some walks and hits in big spots, then he would be better. Like, for instance, he's 4-1 in his last 5, but his ERA is 4.33. So it's kind of weird. And I think this series will be kind of weird. So I wouldn't be surprised if the A's win the series, or I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto sweeps them. But I think this is good for an under. So I'll go full game under and first 5 under.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, though. It wouldn't shock me if the A's found a way to win a couple games here, because I don't trust Toronto at all. But I do think it's a spot where I think the pitchers here are actually kind of underrated. So I don't mind going with the first 5 under in this matchup. Moving on to the next game, the matchup between the Angels and the Guardians. Now, for this game, the Angels got swept by the Yankees. Feels good. Feels good for the Yankees. They won 1-0. It was a base-loaded sac fly in the first, and then nothing after that. But nice job of the Yankees. Shout out to Aaron Judge, who got intentionally walked 2 times in the first 2 innings yesterday. I've never seen that before. I don't know if you've seen that before, but
no,
I have not. So Ron Washington decided, I am not pitching to Judge with anybody on base ever. And he got intentionally walked in the first inning and intentionally walked in the second inning. So there you go. Soriano, though, is against Ortiz for this one. You have the Guardians at minus 150. Angels are plus 125. Soriano, 3-5, 3.73 ERA. Ortiz, 2-5, 4.73 ERA. Over-under is set at about 8 flat. Now, Guardians are in better form. Said before, the Angels, they were in good form as they ended up sweeping the Dodgers. They ended up winning the series against the A's. Then they went to play Miami, and it has not been going well. They can't hit. The offense once again cooled off. Soriano, though, has a 2.35 ERA on the road, been a significantly better road pitcher than home pitcher this season. As for Ortiz, he has not been good either, but he's been very good at home, a 2.42 ERA at home. So you can argue it's a good spot for the Guardians in this one. Guardians, of course, are 15-10 at home. They have not been playing that well recently. They are 5-3 in their last 8, but they played the Dodgers, so not going to roast them too hard for that, winning 1 out of 3 there. I'll go Cleveland mostly because the Angels can't hit right now, and I feel like this line should be a bit higher. I'll go with Cleveland, who's the better team, who's actually been hitting the ball decently recently.
Yep.
But the Angels can't hit to save their lives. So I'll go with the Guardians in this one.
Yeah, I like the Guardians as well. I'm going to be like a little contrarian and go over. Even though, so basically the Guardians swept Cleveland earlier in the year. They outscored them 22-8.
You mean the Angels, right?
Angels, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Angels, sorry. Yeah, they swept the Guardians 22-8. And I think Cleveland's been playing a little bit better. Ortiz has been money at home, 1 earned run or less in 3 of his last 4. Both pitchers do have walk issues. Soriano's 4.2 walks per 9. Ortiz has some walk issues. So I think that can get those guys on base. And Soriano's allowed 6+ hits in 6 of his last 8. He's only over 3 earned runs once in that span. So a little bit of regression coming for him, which is kind of why his hit rate's been kind of up and his numbers have been down, like ERA wise. But I mean, 5 straight losses for the Angels. You talked about how they can't score 2 or less in all of those games. I'm going to go with Cleveland here. I think we see some runs, though, just because due to the volatility of these pitchers putting guys on. And maybe if they get a couple guys on, we get a base hit here, base hit there, and we're 4 runs like it's nothing. So I'm going to go Cleveland. I'm going to go over. Is it still 8? Do you still see 8 out there?
Yes, I see 8.
Yeah, so I like Cleveland. I like over the 8.
By the way, just for clarification, the Angels won 2 out of 3 against the Guardians earlier this year.
Oh, they did? Oh, okay. Maybe I'm tripping.
Each of the first 2 games had 14 runs.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. But technically, it was not a sweep. The Angels, though, did win the series.
That's my bad.
Before we get into any of the other games on the card for Friday, a reminder that we are brought to you by our sponsor, Edgews. The first ever banking for bettors. They're ensuring that all your gambling transactions are approved, no issues, fees, no minimums, cash records as well. A reminder that 100% approval for all your betting deposits. Sign up today. Edgews.bet, promo code SGPN. When you deposit $5, Edge match deposit. Edgews.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Fantasy because they are going long to the playoffs with their extender bonus. Hop in game 1, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. When you sign up for your new account, though, use the promo code MLB SGPN to get a special pick and first time deposit offer up to 1K in bonus cash on Fantasy promo code MLB SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finish going for the first couple games on the Friday card. Time to keep it rolling here with the next game. Look at the matchup between the Rockies and the Mets. For this one, the Rockies, of course, are massive dogs. Mets are minus 350. Rockies are plus 280. For the over-under in this game, I see it being set at 7.5 or 8. For the run line here, Mets minus 1.5 is minus 155. Now, the total's very low, because you're looking at what is a Rockies offense that is absolutely useless on the road. However, the wind is blowing out to left field at about 7 miles per hour. So actually decent weather for an over. Looking at the pitchers, though, Freeland has been really bad, struggled against the Yankees as well. And then I believe he got hurt at the end of that start, but he stayed in anyway. Gave up 8 runs, 4 of them earned. One of them was on his own error, so I'm not going to feel bad for him. Point is, though, he's been really bad, better on the road, but not good at all this season. He's 0-7. For Peterson, he has been pretty consistent home and road. Over the last couple of starts, he's been consistent as well. He's given up 2 runs in 3 straight. However, do I think the Mets are going to go quietly offensively, or do I think they can score 6 and send this game over the total? I kind of like the over in this one, especially with the wind. You're looking at Peterson, who's solid, but he's a lefty. And you're looking at a spot where I do think the Rockies' righty bats can maybe hit some fly balls to the wind areas and try to get some home runs that way. So I don't mind the over in this game. The Mets should dominate. I don't mind Mets minus 2.5 here. Freeland's been really bad. But you have 2 lefty pitchers with the wind blowing out to left field. And Citi Field's not a bad home run park for right-handed hitters. I think it's a good spot for the over here. I'll go with the over.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is a good get-right spot for the Mets, who have been struggling offensively, like you pointed out. The Rockies don't hit lefties well. They're under 200.
They don't hit anybody well, to be
fair. Yeah, that's a good point. But the Mets, man, they're hitting under 225 in their last 10. You mentioned Freeland. He's been a gas can pretty much. I mean, I just think he's actually been better on the road, believe it or not. But I think this is a great spot for Peterson and the Mets offense. I mean, Peterson's had some walk troubles, but I think he can kind of get through and pitch well. I mean, he pitched really well against the Yankees and the Dodgers. I mean, 3 combined earned in those 2 starts. He's had 2 or less in 5 straight. The walk issues, like I said, they kind of come and go. But against this horrible Colorado team, I don't think you have to worry about that. So I would look at a Colorado team total under and a Mets team total over. I wonder what that – can you parlay that?
Yeah, you could parlay anything if you would try hard enough. Now, I'm sure some books have that if you want it, but once again, I wonder how low that Rockies team total is going to be because it's at 7.5. They're probably like 2.5.
2.5 juiced like 130.
Probably. That's why I feel like the windows kind of scare me a little bit because I do think you can get a home run or two, and the Mets bullpen, which has been a strength all year, hasn't maybe been as great lately. It's been fine. I think the Rockies can score some runs, but yeah, maybe you're onto something there. But I think I'll go with the over, though. 7.5 in that win environment with two lefties, I think is a little bit low. I'll go with the over for that one. If the Mets score 8 runs, we're both happy. So there you go. I'll go with the over for that game. Moving on to the Giants against the Marlins. Now for this game, matchup between Harrison and Quantrill. Giants are minus 180. The Marlins are plus 150. Giants were in great form to start the season. Now, not so much. They're only 6 games over 500. They've lost 4 of their last 5. Classic Giants season where they are kind of just up and down. They end up around 500. It's kind of what you get. For the Marlins, 22-32. I know Quantrill has an ERA over 6. He has not been good at home either this season, but he's allowed less than 2 earned in 3 of his last 4. However, there's no distance involved at all in those outings. He's gone less than 5 1/3 in all 3. In I think 5 straight outings, could be more than that, but the distance is just not there. He's gone to less than 5 1/3 in 5 straight. So you're probably seeing some bullpen, decent amount of it for this game. Harrison, though, came off the IL, and he looked okay, actually, since he came back. Went 1 outing, 4 innings, 2 runs allowed. So once again, you might see a lot of bullpen involvement in this game. Miami's bullpen, though, might suck. And it's not even might. I think it does suck. They ended up beating the Padres in that crazy back-and-forth game, not because the pitching was good, but because Ramirez had like 4 hits in the leadoff spot or something crazy. But they won the game while scoring double-digit runs. They still can't pitch. For the pricing, I understand why the Giants are minus 180. Do I want to lay 180? No. I think I like the over in this game. 8.5, I think, makes sense. I don't trust the distance from either starting pitcher. The bullpens could be a bit concerning. You can argue maybe first 5 under if you want to go contrarian because Harrison and Quantrill have been fine. But I don't feel great about anything in this game. I'm not going to bet this game. But for the sake of value, Giants should not be laying 180 for a team that's lost 4 of their last 5. I'll hold my nose and take Miami plus 150.
Yeah, I definitely 100% agree with you. This is the 3rd straight road series for the Giants as well. 9 of their last 10 have went under, which kind of explains some of their hitting woes. They're hitting around 200 the last 10. Under 215 on the road. Bullpen's been lights out on the road, though, so that's something to monitor. 2.29 ERA on the road. Miami's feisty. I feel like whenever we talk about Miami, I'm always the one who is optimistic on them. They're home from a 2-series road trip. They went 3-3 in that span. They're 500 the last 10. Their offense has been really good as of late. 6+ runs in 3 of the last 5. They're hitting above 270 the last 10. Quantrill, outside of his first home start, he's been pretty solid at home. Not a lot of length, like you talked about. 1 earned run allowed in 3 of his last 4. So I'm going to take Miami first 5 and the full game because I think San Francisco's a little bit overvalued in this spot. So I completely agree with you there. Except for I won't be holding my nose. I feel pretty confident about Miami. They're feisty.
Oh no, it's because of the fish smell. But I feel like if the Giants were like minus 140, I'd understand it. Harrison's made 1 start since coming back off the IL and he's laying 180. I feel like that line is kind of nuts. I think out of all the plays I was kind of talking to myself, trying to convince myself of something, I think my favorite play would be Marlins money line because I just think the pricing is off. And the Giants...
It is, seriously.
The Giants, I said before, they were great to start the season, but now you're looking up and you realize they're only 6 over. They were what felt like 15 over for part of the season. Now they're
that division
6.
is so good, man.
I know. But in general, though, they have not been playing well. So I think based on that, the Giants might be overvalued. And because of that, they have not maybe adjusted the pricing to a team that was peaking earlier in the year. That's kind of where I'm at for that. Anyway, though, moving on to the next game. You have the Red Sox against the Braves. 2 teams that arguably need to be put down. You have Giolito against Holmes. For this game, you have the line being set at nothing at the moment. I see absolutely nothing. So it's going to be a pretty short handicap. Giolito, though, has been underwhelming this season, as he does have an ERA of 5.27. However, he did pitch against the Orioles, and he was incredible last time out. 7 innings and no runs. So he's actually been good in 2 of the last 3 outings. Got shelled by Atlanta, coincidentally, in the start in between, as he gave up 6 runs in 4 innings. Now he plays against Atlanta again. Not a good sign. You have Holmes, though, pitching for Atlanta, who's been really good at home, but not good on the road, but it's a home game, so it's good for him. Was good against Boston, too. Gave up 2 runs in 6 innings. In fact, he's given up less than 3 earned in 3 straight. Now, I got to go with Atlanta in this game. They're going to be laying something in this game. They're going to be favored. I don't know by how much. What is Boston good at? Because Boston offensively, they can score some runs. They have some home run power. I get it. But Giolito's been bad against the Braves, been fine overall. But they can't save any game to save their lives. The bullpen's horrible. They've blown, I think, 11 saves already. They punted away 2 games against Milwaukee to end that series. Yelich had the grand slam, and they had the choke job in the last game of the series. Even if the starter pitches well, they're going to blow the game. I'll go with Atlanta.
Yeah, it'll be something with Atlanta for me as well. Just depending, I want to see how the bullpen and stuff worked out. You talked about how Smith-Shawver got injured, so they're already deeper into that bullpen than what they expected. Yeah. So I kind of want to see that, which I think is why the number is off the board. But they did take 2 of 3 in Boston last week, outscored them 20-13.
Yeah.
Giolito 6 earned in 4 innings pitched versus them a few weeks back. So like, Atlanta's been consistently inconsistent. They're one of those teams that you just kind of can't figure out. And I think Boston, you could say the same thing about. Offensively, they get going and then they go through a spell where they can't score. So it's just kind of the same thing. And I think Acuna being back adds a little bit more for Atlanta. But again, I mean, they can't score. Since he's been back, I think they're averaging like 2.8 runs or 3 runs per 9 in that span. So they got to get it going. Holmes has been okay. 4 of his 5 starts in May have been quality. So he'll be fine against Boston's lineup, who's again inconsistent. So as long as Atlanta's properly priced, I'll probably be on them and maybe an over.
Do want to ask you though, for Boston, I know that we're still early on in the year. The AL East is pretty weak, but the Yankees are running away with that division. Is Boston going to nuke the team? Because I don't know what direction they're even heading in. Right now, this team's just not any good.
Yeah, I think they're in a very weird place because they're right in the middle. Like, you remember how Baltimore was when everybody said they should have went for it? Was this 2 years ago?
They also won 100 games. Boston was being hyped up as a potential wild card team.
Yeah,
they fell short because they fell apart at the back half of last year.
Yeah.
Then they were given the same expectations this year, and they've been horrible.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what they
do, man.
They remind me of Toronto. You mentioned Baltimore. I think of Toronto with Vlad a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, Toronto's the same. They're Atlanta Hawks.
Correct, but I'm saying at least the Orioles won 100 games and they won the division and they had some actual.
Yeah, but the year before, remember the year before that when they were fringe, and they didn't bring guys up and they didn't trade for anybody and I think they missed the playoffs at that time. And then the year after, they won 100 games. But
Boston's been calling up people, though, just hasn't been working.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminds me of Toronto, the Vlad Jr. This is the premiere, not the movie nonsense, and the team sucked.
I remember that.
It kind of reminds me of this Boston team, doesn't it?
I remember. Yeah. Toronto and Boston should kind of get together in a room and see if they can just swap players.
And I think Core is a fine manager. I don't think it's a managerial issue. I just think that the bullpen sucks.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's a managerial issue. I think it's more so maybe just the players don't work together.
Either that or they have no pitching personnel. I mean, you're looking at the bullpen right now, a couple of main relievers. You have Chapman, who's up there in years. Hendricks, who's been terrible. I'm happy he's back in the MLB, but he's been really bad. And as a Yankees fan, I cannot believe Weissert is a regular person using the bullpen. I thought that guy sucked on the Yankees, and he's been terrible with Boston. I can't believe they actually use him, but Weissert's been bad too. So, long story short, Boston might have to trade some pieces because this team is bad at this point. So that's kind of my thoughts on that one. But either way, Atlanta, they got Acuna back. We'll see what happens. But I think both teams might have to look themselves in the mirror for the sake of the future. Moving on, though, to the next game, matchup between the Cardinals and the Rangers. Now, for this game, you have Liberatore against Leiter. For this game, I believe we have no lines either, so that's fun. Back-to-back games with no lines. Liberatore has been very good this season, though. 3-3, 2.73 ERA. Rangers have Leiter as a 4.71 ERA. I'm going Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are just a good team. The Rangers can hit, and the Cardinals find ways like their old versions of the team. They will find ways to manufacture wins.
Bro, it's unbelievable.
They find ways.
Oh, my God.
And I give them props for it. I mean, against Baltimore, for example, they probably should have lost that series. And they found ways to dig, and they found ways to survive. And that's what the identity of the Cardinals has been for decades at this point. They're a pretty decent team.
They are, man.
The Rangers are not. So I'll go with the Cardinals. I think Liberatore is pretty good.
Yeah, you remember how Tampa used to be like years ago? They used to always be like people would be like, oh, well, Tampa's just whatever. And then they would just win the division, or they'll, win.
They'd have about 8 relievers that would throw 100 miles an hour.
Right.
And they would find ways with openers and a bunch of nonsense to just win games 3-2
right.
all the time.
Yeah,
that's kind of how they win.
This time St. Louis is doing it with a lot of offense. I mean, and we questioned their I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I questioned their rotation coming in, and their rotation has been really good. I mean, if you look at Liberatore, I mean, 2 or less in 8 straight. He's got a 1.91 ERA in that span. He does have a high hit rate, but he's been pretty good, man. And they continue to hit the ball well. They had 6+ runs in 4 of the last 5. They're hitting 270 versus righties. Texas reminds me of I know we're doing a lot of contrasting here, but Texas reminds me a lot of Seattle last year. Lights out pitching, no hitting. Like they cannot hit at all. They're hitting under 210 versus lefties. They're hitting under 190 in the last 10. 2.2 runs per 9. Lighter's okay. I mean, but again, it doesn't matter how good your. Ironically, Jacob deGrom's in the same situation because he can pitch lights out and they can't score 2 runs. So. Like I'm going first 5 under, and I'll be on St. Louis because I know we'll get a good price for him.
Yeah, I think that St. Louis, maybe they're dogs in this game, who knows? But I do think that the Cardinals should have value in the spot. And I don't mind the under blindly because Texas can't hit. Moving on to the next game, you have the Rangers against the Royals. Now, Tigers against the Royals. Tigers 17 games over 500 for, I believe, the first time since the end of the 2013 season. It's been a long time, but damn, this team's really good at baseball. You have Mize pitching, 6-1, 2.45 ERA. Lugo's pitching for Kansas City, who's been fine, 3-4, 3.02 ERA. Tigers minus 120. Royals are even money. Over-under in this game is set at 8. Detroit and under. I feel like it's a pretty simple spot for the Royals. We know that this team offensively can be underwhelming for most of the season at least. We know that Lugo and Mize have been good this season. I mean, I just see a low-scoring game. Give me the Tigers and the under.
Yeah, completely agree, man. Did you talk about the Tigers series against them in April? No,
I did not bring that up.
Okay, yeah, they were 3-1 in the April series. They won 6 of the last 7 versus Kansas City. The thing is, Detroit, like I love Detroit. I love them coming in. The offense is kind of scaling back to what I thought it would be. That was the only question. I know they were playing a little bit above their skis early on, but right now they're under 200 versus righties the last 10. They do hit the ball pretty well on the road, but they're under 215 in their last 10 overall. Kansas City, another consistently inconsistent team, 500 last 10. They have been hitting the ball well as of late, but again, I don't trust either offense. I'm going under.
Yeah, I think I can get behind that any day with Kansas City. This team offensively is a mess. I've barely even heard Bobby Wood Jr.'s name this season. Not because he's been bad, but because nobody wants to talk about Kansas City.
Right.
Like, that's how boring that team is. Like, nobody wants to actually talk about him. So, yeah, I think that we're on the same page for that one. Moving on to the Rays and the Astros, one of the only actual games that's also taking place on Thursday. Because you don't have many games today, but the Rays and the Astros are going to be one of them. But they're going again in the Friday slate as you have a match between Pepiot and Valdez. For this one, the Rays are plus 140. Houston's minus 165. Valdez has a 3.39 ERA. Pepiot is 3.55. And for the over-under in this game, I see the line being set at about 7.5. Both teams quietly been in great form recently. Mm-hmm. Houston is 10 over. They do this, or 5 over, I mean, they're 10 over at home. They do this every damn year.
Every year.
They're bad early. You go, oh, maybe the dynasty's finally over. And then you look up and they're like 10 over in the middle of July. And you're like, what the hell even happened? But yeah, they got rid of Kyle Tucker and said, sure, we'll just win a bunch of games anyway. And the division's not very good.
So. And Jordan's been shelved a little bit.
Who?
Jordan's been.
Oh, Jordan. Okay, yeah. He's barely played. I thought he said Rodon for a second.
Oh,
no, he's actually been good. No, Jordan has been injured the entire year.
As usual.
Anybody who bets season-long props on Jordan overs, I mean, you have so much faith in one guy that I would never have faith in. But You lost Tucker. You don't really have much to be impressed by. In my opinion, the rotation's fine, and they win games. But Tampa, you look now, they're over 500.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say, man. They got to give them credit as well.
I think they've won 7 of their last 8. Like, they've been in good form. So
yeah, they have.
It's a tricky matchup, but I do like Valdez more than Pepiot. So I'm kind of stuck. First 5 under. I mean, maybe you could argue Tampa money line because the price is massive on Houston, but I don't have much. I think it's a game that I might be interested in watching, but not betting. But for pricing, 165 does feel a bit high to me. So I guess I'm on Tampa, but I don't feel good about it at all.
Yeah, I wanted to take Houston a little bit, like probably 145 or 150 would probably be my cutoff. I mean, both teams have been playing extremely well. Both pitchers have been extremely well. 4 straight quality starts for both pitchers. Valdez has allowed 2 or less in 5 of his last 7, 3 or less in 8 of 11 starts this year. Pepiot's been really good on the road. He had 3 earned runs on 6 innings pitched and 8 hits versus Houston last week. He's coming off 7 scoreless versus Toronto, who we just talked about. But, I mean, I just think both teams are ascending up. Tampa did take 2 of 3 in Tampa, at home last week. Houston probably gets them here. So I think this is a high volatile game. I think either Tampa wins or Houston wins by multiple runs. So I'm probably going to end up taking a run line with Houston getting a little bit more value there. And if you look at Valdez, he's been really good. But if you look at the offenses he's faced, it's not been a murderer's row.
Well, where does Tampa rank in that? Because they've been better lately, but they're not a good offense either.
Yeah. But I mean, he's faced like some Kansas City, some Chicago White Sox. Like
it's not his fault.
It's not. It's not. I was just pointing it out. But I think the way Tampa's offense is ascending, it's been pretty good. But again, I'm leaning on both pitchers to have a pitcher's duel. I think we see maybe a 3-2 type of game. So I'm going under 7.5.
I saw 3-2 as the scoreline in my head too, so I don't mind the under 2. But yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty competitive game throughout, in my opinion. So maybe a spin on the Rays for the money line, but nothing that substantial. Moving on to the next game, you have the Pirates against the Padres. Pirates randomly exploded offensively in back-to-back games against Arizona. Arizona might stink, by the way, but separate conversation there. For this one, you have a matchup between Keller and Pivetta. Padres minus 190. You have the Pirates at plus 160. San Diego's pitching was not good yesterday. They have been great at home, though, 18-9 for the Pirates. They are 8-20 on the road. Keller's 1-6, but he does have a 3.66 ERA, and his ERA on the road is actually 2.88. For the over-under, I see 7.5. I'm kind of stuck here because I really don't want to lay this price with Pivetta, but I get it. So I'm going to go with, you know what, maybe a spin here. Give me the Pirates. I think it's a massive price. 190 is pretty large. San Diego's not been very good lately. I'll go with the Pirates at plus 160 because why not?
Yeah, so I was there as well. I have in my notes under ? Pittsburgh first 5 ?
Okay.
Just because
I'm not going to bet anything I just said, by the way, but I'm mentioning what I like.
Yeah, I mean Pittsburgh has been pretty good as of late, 6-4 last 10. I mean Keller's been really good, man. 1.89 ERA over his last 4. He can't get any run support. Like he can't get any type of run support. He's been decent on the road. 2 earned, 3 earned, 2 earned in that order. His hit rate has been a bit high, so it's kind of something you want to watch out for. But I mean, San Diego, they've had a ton of success against Pittsburgh. They have won 9 straight. They're 3-0 against them this year. Outscored them 15-5 in early May. But their metrics now if you'd like kind of extrapolate them from early on when they were rolling, they look like a below average team, man. I mean, and that's what they've been playing like as of late. I know Pavetta's been good, but his hit rate has lowered from earlier in the month. He has a lot of home run in 5 straight. He's money at home. But again, like you said, price-wise, I'm going to have to take a shot with Pittsburgh. But I like Pittsburgh better in the first 5 than I do full game.
I think I'm with you there, but like once again, 190 for San Diego. I get it, but I'm just not that big of a Pivetta guy. You could argue Keller. I know the numbers are better for Pivetta this season. I think the starting pitchers are comparable.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I think 190 feels pretty large. So I'll go with Pittsburgh, but I'm not going to bet that game at all. Moving on to the next game, matchup between the Nationals and Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks are, can I use the word free fall, or does that feel excessive? Because they have
what do they do? What do
they
they
lost
do?
7 of their last 8. Like they've been really bad.
Yeah.
And Carroll's having a solid season. He has 16 home runs, and it doesn't matter because they are not going to be worth a damn. They got Naylor as their first baseman, who's actually leading the team batting average somehow, and that has been fine, but the bullpen is a mess. The rotation's not great either. I don't know. And they're in that division. They're screwed.
right.
I don't know what to tell you. Like they're screwed. But we can see what happens moving forward, but it's not going to be good. I'll tell you that much. For the pitching matchup, though, for this game, you have a matchup between Irvin and Kelly. So two pitchers actually in pretty good form.
Mm-hmm.
For the pricing in this game, I see nothing. So once again, no lines there. Should be a high total, though, because of the environment in Arizona. I like the under in the game. I have to imagine that Arizona will be favored by a decent amount because it's in Arizona, and there's no chance I take them. So give me the Nationals at a price to be determined later at a plus money play because I'm not back in Arizona right now. This team sucks.
Yeah, similar to the handicap for Pittsburgh, I have Washington ? But I have over ?
I like the over. I think I like the over too, but I just think at the end of the day, maybe Nationals team total over.
Yeah, maybe.
Just so I could blindly attack the Arizona bullpen. But
yeah, and
whatever they're laying is going to be too big because this team right now is falling apart.
Yeah, and Washington's been really good. They had success against Arizona. They won 2 of 3 versus Arizona at home in early April. They won 7 of the last 10. If you look at their road, they won 4 of the last 5 on the road. Irvin's been pretty good. 3 straight quality starts, 2 runs or less in 5 of 7. 2 runs or less in 3 of 5 on the road. So he's been pretty good there. You talk about the Diamondbacks free fall. Won't have to do that. The bullpen ERA is almost 6 in the last 10. But Kelly's been good, man. Kelly's been good, 2 or less in 7 of his last 9. His hit rate is up a bit, which I think Washington can kind of attack with their offense because Washington's an interesting team too, man. They got a lot of talent on that team.
I like James Wood.
I like James Wood. I like McKenzie. McKenzie Gore's a North Carolina guy, so I'm always root for him. I like some of the young guys that they got. I know what's my guy's name? Cruz is banged up, but
I like Abrams too.
Yeah, I like Abrams as well. Like I like a lot of the guys, and I think they just got to learn how to win. And you can see it in certain spots. Cause I think they played the Dodgers tough. I think they played another top team pretty tough as well. So I'm going to take Washington here in the first 5 in full game. Depending on, obviously, we'll get a plus price, but as long as it's not too egregious, like plus 130 or something. I wanted to get it, my plus 160-ish. You think we'll get that?
No.
Damn.
I think based on the former bowl teams being priced in a little bit, I think Nationals are going to be like plus 140, plus 150. So
Yeah,
not that far off what you said.
Yeah, I'll take 150.
Maybe a little bit lower. Like I'll say 130 to 150 because I think Arizona is still reputation-wise supposed to dominate at home against this team.
Yeah, I'll take 150. As long as it's not like 125, 130.
I think I might still take that, to be honest. I want nothing to do with this Arizona team. I don't mind Merrill Kelly, though. I think he's fine. But
Kelly's
been pretty good.
Kelly's cool.
So there you go. Moving on to the next game. I agree with you, though, about the over for that game. You have the Twins against the Mariners. Now, the Mariners are 6 over. The Twins are 5 over. You have Matthews against Wu. We have, once again, no lines. This kind of sucks. This bit was funny the first 2 times, not the 4th time. But I'm assuming Seattle will be a decent favorite because Wu's very good and Matthews is really bad. When your first name's Zebby, you're not going to have a good time in the pros. But, yeah, I like Seattle. I think Wu's a good pitcher. Give me Seattle first 5 minus half a run. Price shouldn't be that big because both teams record-wise are pretty similar. But Matthews is 0-1, 7.71 ERA. He might be a standard. It's still early in his season, and he's only 25, so he still can maybe figure it out. But he strikes me as either a reliever or a 4A guy who's just not good enough to pitch in the majors, but he's good enough to dominate AAA. I'll go with Seattle first 5 minus half a run because I like Wu quite a bit.
Yeah, I like Wu as well. I think Matthews has some good swing and miss stuff. He just hasn't put together like a full package, so he might need to refine some of his pitches. But he's got good swing and miss stuff. Like he has a lot of whiffs, but he just can't put it together consistently inning to inning, which is I think that's where you run into that issue, like you talked about. But I like the under as well, as long as the number is going to be decent. I mean, Wu's had a quality start in 8 of his 10 starts, 1 combined in his last 3. Only 3 home starts. He's only had 2 combined allowed. I like Seattle a bunch here. I mean, both teams under in 6 of the last 10. I think we see a low scoring 3-1, 4-0 type of game. So I'm going with Seattle.
Yeah, moving on to the next game, matchup between the Yankees and the Dodgers. We saved the best for last. Is definitely the game people want to pay attention to because it's the World Series rematch. You have Fried against Gonsolin, Yankees minus 130, Dodgers plus 110.
130?
I mean, it makes sense. Fried's 7-0.
No, it opened 106.
Yeah, but Gonsolin's pitching, and he's been bad too. Over-unders at 8.5. Now, Gonsolin, 2-1, 4.68 ERA, 6.3 ERA at home. Came back off the IL, and he has been not great recently. Last 2 starts in 9 innings, 8 earned runs. He's walked 8 guys in his last 2 starts, so not ideal. Fried, though, has been incredible. His ERA on the road is .83.
He's unreal, man.
He is so damn good, and the Yankees only got him because they let go of Soto, because they can afford to pay him and Bellinger. Yankees, though, have won, I think it's 8 or 9 straight series. They've been really, really good.
Scary, man.
The Dodgers have been kind of up and down recently, and the bullpen stinks for this team. Tanner Scott forgot how to pitch, so something to keep in mind there. They paid him a lot of money, and he's not been any good. I'm going Yankees in this game. You could argue maybe the under if you're picking a classic World Series rematch, low-scoring playoff atmosphere type game, but damn, I got to go Fried at this price. Gonsolin's not very good. Fried's been great. Yankees have been rolling too, so I like the Yankees minus 130.
Yeah, I liked it better earlier. 130 is kind of pushing it for me, even though Fried's been really good. This is like the Dodgers, they've been inconsistent this month. They're 500 the last 10. I do like the under, and Gonsolin's not been good, like you mentioned. He's had some walk issues as well, so that doesn't bode well. He's had 8 earned runs in his last 2 starts. So, but again, I mean, just price wise, I'm gonna have to take the Dodgers at one if they're plus money. What are the Dodgers? What, plus 110?
Yeah, give or take. I see 115.
Yeah, I don't want to, but I have to, just price wise. And even though Fried's been really good, the Dodgers are really elite versus left-handed pitchers. Granted, they haven't faced one like Fried. I think it'll be a low-scoring game, 2-1 either way. So I'm going to take the plus money with the Dodgers. I didn't want it to be, but that's just sorry for our Yankees. But
yeah, it feels like a spot where even if the Dodgers are winning, though, I really don't like that bullpen at all. It's a problem from what I've seen. And I feel like the Yankees can find ways to manufacture runs. Offense has not been that great lately, so I actually don't mind the under at 8.5. Then the total feels pretty high for me. So I'll go with the under thrown in there. I see plus 110 on the under 8.5. It's a very good deal for me.
I'm taking that. I will bet that right now.
Plus 110.
But full disclosure, though, I already bet I bet the Yankees on open at $1.05.
Yeah, but I'm saying with that, I don't mind the under 8.5. Because the Yankees offensively, despite sweeping the Angels, have not been that good recently.
Yeah.
So I'll go with that. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for all the games on the card for Friday. Now it's time for the Lock and Dog plays. For that, the reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, which is Rhythm, because they're the home of MLB Picks for Ops. Our job at SGPN is to help you find the best picks, and now we've got a new tool to help you do that because we've heard the talk about Rhythm before, and they just dropped. You've heard us talk about them before, but they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm models have consistently won and won with a high ROI. And a reminder, you can also use the Power Trends that are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed picks. And you can download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. You know we will be, so join us with that venture. Try it out for free for a week, though, by using the link sportsgamble.com/RATHMM. We're also brought to you by Circle Ultimate Fantasy Bowl Giveaway, because Circle Resort and Casino, Las Vegas, giving away the Ultimate Fantasy Bowl experience for a 12-person league in Vegas to draft their teams and be treated like VIPs for their stay. We're going to get a 2-night stay at Circle Resort and Casino for the entire 12-person league. Have your draft at Cabana, stadium swim with a 5K food and beverage credit, limit transportation, tour from the airport as well, and much more. Contest from May 5th to June 30th. When you sign up, use the link sportsgamble.com/circa, sportsgamble.com/CIRCA. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag, because MyBookie's place for a sport. They have the playoffs, they have the NHL playoffs, they have baseball, they have UFC, they have tennis, you name it, they're available, and a ton of locations as well. Use crypto for deposits, only fast payouts. When you sign up there for a new account, use the promo code SGPN to get a 100% match up to 1K. Terms against MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finish going through every game on the Friday card. Time to move on into the Lock and Dog plays. Lonte, what's going to be your Lock and Dog for the show?
Yeah, man. So I had a bunch to choose from, to be honest. I'm having to narrow it down. Let's take the under. That should be 8 in the Detroit-Kansas City game. We talked about both pitchers being really solid. I think both offenses have been struggling as of late. So let's go under there. Typically, they play an under series. I think 8 of the last 10 have went under in that specific series. So let's go under 8 in Detroit, Kansas City. For the dog, look, man, I'm on the swing for the fences. Give me plus 190, Chicago White Sox. There's no way that Baltimore should be laying 225. I don't care who they're playing.
All right. So for my lock, did I want to go for a total or a side? Because I thought about going for a total, but I don't know if I actually want to do it. It was looking at the actual card. The annoying part is a couple of games I liked have no lines. So I can't even give those out, which is pretty annoying. But, all right. So for the lock, I think I am actually going to go with a total. The question is which one, because I thought about maybe going for a first 5 play, but I want to just quickly see if I could find a good number. I don't think any numbers are actually posted yet for the totals. Yeah, you know what? I'll actually go for a bit of a bolder play, at least based on current form of these teams offensively. I just want to quickly see how they've been doing over the last week, because I think that this total is too high in general, but I just want to quickly check. Yeah, this team has not been hitting at all. I want to see how the other team's been hitting quickly, just to confirm. Okay, I mean, they've been better offensively recently, but I think I still like it. I'm going to go with the Giants and Marlins. I'll go with the first 5 under in that game at 4.5. Trying to see if I could find a price on that yet. I highly doubt it, but maybe one book posted a line on it. The line's too high because the Giants can't hit. They've had a bunch of low-scoring games lately, and you're looking at Quantrill and Harrison, who've been fine lately. Marlins' offense kind of exploded there in the last couple games, but I do think Harrison's fine. I think you're looking at a spot where Quantrill's given up 1 run in 1 earned in 3 of his last 4, and the Giants can't hit. So I don't mind a low-scoring game there in a very pitchers-friendly environment. I'll go with the first 5 under 4.5 as my lock in that game. For the dog, I think for this one, I'm going to go with a blind line that is not actually available, but I know that they're going to be dogs. Give me the Nationals on the money line. I'll fade Arizona. I know Kelly's been fine. Irvin's been fine too. Diamondbacks, though, have been in free fall. The bullpen absolutely stinks. And the Nationals have been feisty. They've been hitting lately. I think it's a good spot for them. Give me the Nationals at a price to be determined later. But I do think it's a good spot fading the Arizona bullpen. They got shelled in the last 2 games against the Pirates of all teams. I like the spot there for the Nationals. Moving on to the home run picks for the show. Lonte, what do you like for home runs?
Let's double down with my White Sox pick, man. I'm going to take Miguel Vargas to go yard tomorrow. We talked about the home run issues that Baltimore's I forgot who the hell was pitching in that game.
For which one?
For who's pitching for Baltimore? I forgot. He's allowed 7 home runs. Eflin, yeah. Eflin's been a gas can, batting practice pretty much. Vargas has been on fire, man. He's had multi-hit games in I think 3 of his last 6. He's had a home run in 2 of his last 4. He's been seeing the ball really well. I'll be on him for like total bases, hit runs, RBIs. Like I'll be on him for pretty much everything, and I think he can go yard tomorrow against Eflin.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, this pitcher is not any good, but he has not allowed many home runs. But it does go back to the run environment I mentioned before in Citi Field with the wind blowing out to left field. I'm going to go with Alonso. I'm not going to get too creative with it. Freeland has not allowed many home runs this season despite being terrible, but he has allowed 3 home runs in the last month. So he does give up some home runs here or there. I'll point out, though, based on the batter stats, Alonso's only faced him 3 times. He's 1 for 3. Soto's actually had 2 home runs, but he's batting 179 against them. So I was not interested there. Nimmo's been fine, but I want to take advantage of the wind blowing out to left. And Alonso's been better lately after being cold for a couple weeks. Alonso's had a home run in 2 of the last 4. I like how he's heating up at the plate, and I do think it's a good matchup for him with the wind. Give me Pete Alonso at what should be, I think, an okay price.
Yeah,
Nothing earth-shattering, but I like the matchup there with the wind.
Like yep.
So I'll go with Alonso as my home run pick. Anyway, let's go wrap it up for the show. Lonte, anything else you want to add?
That's about it, man. Best of luck to everybody. See you guys tomorrow. We'll be right back tomorrow.
Yep, we're back again tomorrow, so keep an eye out for us there. And a reminder, we also have the prop show in the morning with Adam and I on Friday morning.
I was like, wow, you just put this on me. I didn't know I was going to be on there.
Wait, what do you mean?
No. When you said we got a prop show, I was like, oh, wow, do we? I thought you were like...
I'm saying, no, I'm with Adam.
We
do a prop show 3 times a week.
Yeah, I get it.
We'll be back in the morning about 10 a.m., so check that out as well if you want some props. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.